So, One Battle After Another is the latest film from director Paul Thomas Anderson, in which we follow a character portrayed by Leonardo DiCaprio, an ex-revolutionary who, after an enemy of his resurfaces 16 years later, he must reunite with other ex-revolutionaries to rescue his daughter. And before I continue on with today's video, let's also start our conversation below. Are you all looking forward to One Battle After Another? What are your biggest hopes of the film? What are your biggest fears? Or even better, what is your favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film? Let me know below. Alright everybody, let's get into One Battle After Another.
Excellent!
Holy shit, everybody! Paul Thomas Anderson makes films in a certain way that just feel like not just movies, but they feel like experiences, like, you know, a Christopher Nolan, a Guillermo del Toro, an Edgar Wright. I mean, there's a bunch of filmmakers out there that make films in just so that don't feel like movies, they feel like events, they feel like experiences, and that's what that Paul Thomas Anderson does with certain things. There'll Be Blood I absolutely love, and Boogie Nights is one of my favorite movies of all time. So when I heard about this certain film, and especially when I heard about the cast and that trailer, this movie easily became one of my most anticipated movies of the entire year. Everybody, I have 3 words to say. What a picture. One Battle After Another isn't just a good movie. It's not just a great film. This movie is awesome. There is not a single person in this movie that even gives a subpar performance. Everybody in this movie, and by the way, this movie has a great cast. I mean, whether you're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina King, Chase Infinity, everybody in this movie is fantastic. Now, as you all can imagine, Leonardo DiCaprio gives another great, or as a matter of fact, he gives another incredible performances. And I just want to say this really quick. When has the man not given anything less than a great performance? Leo always comes through. He is a guy that is never going to come in for the paycheck. I mean, I imagine his salary, his pay must be pretty big, but I imagine he never signs on to a film unless he either just really wants it or if he's getting a damn good paycheck out of it. And there are scenes, especially when he's on those phones, which you have seen in the trailer, but man, there are sequences of the movie where he just has these big laughs, and his comedy, his comedic timing, and not to mention as well, as y'all can imagine, the more dramatic, emotional scenes. I mean, the guy still got it. Leo's one of the GOATs. He's one of the greatest out there. Why would you ever doubt the guy? Regina King is also great in the film, even though, and I will say this, her screen time isn't so large in the film. She does have a much more limited screen time, but Regina King is also great in the film. Benicio del Toro is so damn good in the film. And once again, like Leonardo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro is one of the greatest out there, and he has some scenes where his comedic timing is just genius. But there are 2 performances that to me are the MVPs of the movie. The first of which being Sean Penn, who portrays this character that I want to give too much away because, again, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. If he does not get nominated, I think for, I don't know if it's going to be Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor, but Sean Penn is incredible in this movie. I was not expecting Sean Penn to have as much of a bigger role as he did in this movie, but Sean Penn is absolutely incredible in this movie. And there are sequences of this movie where not only he made me feel so uneasy, but the way he commands sequences in this movie, whether it's with, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio or Chase Infinity, or with other actors in this movie, Sean Penn is just so great of not only commanding his scene and making you just lock into the entire scene, but this man is just so good at portraying a character that has this intensity to him, especially in a scene that he shares with another actor. I was on the edge of my seat. The other MVP of this movie to me is Chase Infinity, who portrays Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter. As far as I'm aware, I believe Chase Infinity has done small roles from what I've been told, so One Battle After Another is her first big role, and she absolutely crushes it. Chase Infinity is so great in the film that she steals scenes from not only Sean Penn, but also Leonardo DiCaprio. Chase Infinity steals scenes from Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the GOATs out there. Come on! I really do hope that from her performance in this movie, her career explodes. I was genuinely blown away by the raw emotion that Chase Infinity displays in this movie. And there are other sequences of this movie which you just can see from her eyes alone. She acts so great with her eyes, and once again, she just pulls you in, and she once again commands that scene. Like I was just mentioning to y'all, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of those filmmakers that makes movies in a certain way that just isn't really made by anybody else. Like, when you go into a movie and you sit down in that theater, and when you watch those movies that just have this different feeling, whether it comes down to how it's shot, the performances, and how everything is staged and blocked out, and how it's all made. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of those filmmakers that when you sit down, you're gonna be in for an experience, not just for a movie, but an experience. From the way how he stages sequences, the way how he just writes dialogue, Paul Thomas Anderson makes movies just in a way that no one really does it out there. This just might be his tightest film and his most definitely actually paced film yet, to which I'll get on to in a moment. Paul Thomas Anderson, when it comes down to his commentary, he is definitely saying quite a few things, but the thing that I loved about his commentary of this movie is that he never, at a single point, ever feels like he is hammering in your head, really. It did feel like it only aided in telling this very enthralling story, and a story that kept me on the edge of my seat. It kept me locked in. Everything felt like it always served in the purpose of telling what was really a tension-filled story of literally one thing going into another thing, which leads into another thing. Can I also talk about how beautiful this movie looks? I mean, holy crap. Michael Bauman's cinematography here is just stunning. Now, I know this movie was shot in VisiVision, and I don't know if I saw this on VisiVision because I saw this movie in IMAX last night. See this movie on the biggest format you possibly can, because this is a movie that deserves to be seen on the biggest screen possible, and if you can't see in IMAX, please do so, because man, there are shots in this movie, especially these big, beautiful visits in which the colors just absolutely pop. I don't even know if there's a VisiVision theater around me, but if there is, this is definitely a movie that I want to see it in that format just to see the colors pop, because there are just sequences, especially in daylight where it's out in the outdoors, it just looks incredible. It really, really does. One Battle After Another has some incredible action sequences that are not only very well filmed, but in particular, there is an incredible chase sequence near the beginning of the film that I don't know how they pulled this off, but man, the way that Paul Thomas Anderson stages this sequence and the way how sound is implemented in the scene. And there's another chase sequence near the end of the film, and this is a sequence that'll probably go down as one of the most tense sequences of the year. I'm really doing my best to not exaggerate, but man, this one chase sequence is so masterfully shot and so masterfully edited. Holy crap. For a film that's almost 3 hours long, I keep seeing 2 hours and 40 minutes. I saw 2 hours and 50 minutes, but regardless, it doesn't feel even close to that runtime. There is not a single moment in this movie where the propulsion stops or it slows down, and even though there are some quieter moments, absolutely, even in those quieter moments though, there is something that is waiting to just explode and further propelling yourself into this explosive moment that One Battle After Another is just waiting to share with y'all. Not only does this movie have a great payoff, but the ending is so damn satisfying. I loved how this movie ended.
Well, that's just fucking great!
In terms of my issues with this movie, there's only one thing that I can really think about. The only real issue that I have with this movie is that there is this plot point that happens at a certain point in this movie, and it's a plot point that I just felt was very, very obvious. There are things that happen in this movie that I definitely do think will anger quite a few people, but really, that's all I can think about.
And here we go.
So overall, one battle after another is simply put incredible, and it continues to show why Paul Thomas Anderson is one of the best to do it. And couple that with not only terrific performances, beautiful cinematography, and excellent score, all leading up to an ending that's emotionally satisfying, and even more so, one of my favorite films of the year. All in all, I'm gonna give one battle after another a 5 out of 5. Go see this movie, it's such an incredible experience, and to this movie on the biggest screen possible, please, you need to see this movie this weekend, guys. It is just so damn great. I hope you all enjoyed my review of One Battle After Another. If so, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. If y'all want to see it in my previous 2 videos, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.